All right. What's today? Wednesday, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's Wednesday. Oops, I just moved the camera a bit. It's Wednesday here. I'm at Mum's place, and we've been having a bit of a chat. Since the bad news, I found out yesterday that I can't start at Scarborough anymore, and you know, there's a few things that need to be explained here about Mr. Barry Parsons, and exactly why I choose, or have been choosing, not to have any contact with him. And it's been a whirlwind of events since he came up here for the whole Nimbin or bust journey. And I threw everything into this that I had. I threw my job in. I threw what remaining money I had into the Nimbin trip, right? And basically, when we were down there was no organisation. I did my best to try and help, but I have no contacts in Nimbin. I don't know anyone down there. I've only been there a couple of times in the past. Right, this was Barry's thing. He was supposed to organise all this stuff, right? So when he decided to sit in a hemp embassy and just smoke up all day and be on Facebook and just, you know, being the keyboard warrior that he is, you know, that was an absolute waste of time. So me and this other guy that was with us, we went to the pub and sat there and we waited for Baz to finish doing what he had to do online. Time got away from him, obviously, and you know, he said that, you know, no one was able to help him, but I don't really think that he was doing enough to try and organise this properly. And in the end, we left on the Sunday due to you know, no one helping Barry, and yeah, it was an absolute waste of time. So after that, we went back up to Bonner's place, and it soon became apparent that Barry is very opinionated, and he likes to give advice when advice isn't needed or wanted. And another reason I'm very pissed off is because he actually disrespected my mother in her own house. And upset me too, because trying to leave at 3 o'clock in the morning because I was, you know, snoring too loud, and then, you know, upsetting my mother as well when she was trying to go to sleep, and she was trying to explain that by that time in the morning you have to lock the gates around this area, and he just couldn't fathom that. So, you know, and like, Mum, if you want to tell a little bit.
No, that's okay. Look, I'm backing Scott up because I believe, yes, we meet people online, and what they type and what they put in leads you to believe that they're a particular type of a person. You form an opinion. But in truth, you really don't know someone until you meet them, until you see what they're really like in person. Mm. I spent over 35 years in sales, management, business ownership. I had over 120 people working for me. And from the moment that man walked into this house, a con man can't con a salesperson. And he was a con merchant right from the start. Now, Barry, in all fairness, and I'm not berating the man here, Barry's words, and I'm only going to speak Barry's words, what he said to me while he was here and how he conducted himself. He offended me in that he jumped into our family business now, and trying to lead Scott to leave his job there and then, get on Centrelink, they're going to go travelling, they're going to do this and that, and he wouldn't listen and interjected himself into our communications, causing a lot of chaos. Yeah. Oh yes, when he arrived, he did the nice, look, I'll smooth her over with some banana bread. Mm. Yeah, right, that worked until I saw his whole manner in the house. He is very self-righteous, very self-opinionated. Now the man, and these are his words, he let a lot out about himself to me. He's moved back in with his mother 15, 16 times throughout his life when he's poor, because he has a gambling addict. addiction. And those are his words. He likes to gamble. His income comes from gambling and selling herbal stuff.
Which everyone knows he does.
Which
anyway.
I'm just being
He's
polite.
not. He's not secretive about it.
Okay, he's not. Now, the fact that he's moved back in with this is one thing that offended me, on top of interjecting into our family situation, where Barry's interjection into our situation. I live in public housing here, and here in Queensland, you can be evicted for the littlest of things now. He nearly got me kicked out on the street because of the confusion with the administration at Housing Commission, the changes to the rent when he got Scott to leave his job.
Yeah, it wasn't a good.
It was a horrible time.
Well, I needed out of the area of Logan because it's a shithole,
yeah,
right?
And I agreed with that, Scott. You know, you and I know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you need
let me talk a bit.
Yeah.
And I thank him for that. But the thing is, people are making out that I've gone from one place to another and I've somehow fucked up everywhere I've been in my life. And the thing was, everywhere I've been in the last couple of months since I've met Barry, I'm welcome back there with open arms. And I've got offers all over for me to go and stay at different places. You know, people know I'm a genuine person. And the fact that, you know, he annoyed everyone on the way through. And no, you'd have to speak to those people, see if he's still welcome. But the impression I got that they were quite, you know, very annoyed and dissatisfied with the way that he conducted himself. And I think personally, Barry's in no position to be giving anyone advice because his life's in shambles, and so is mine. And I know, I'm the first one to admit, I know I've got a drinking problem. I've known that for years, but I've got a lot of underlying issues that I haven't dealt with, and that's my burden to carry. That's no one else's burden. No one else can help me, and they think that by me being around, that's somehow burdening them as well. You know, I can appreciate that a little bit, but not entirely, because that's my problem to deal with, and it's no one else. You know, and I will deal with that when I am able to, and when I'm in the right place. But you know, taking someone's word, you know, like you just got to have that bloke in your house for a few days, and you start to soon realise that he is very rude and obnoxious, and he's very impatient too. You know, like I threw myself out there to help him, and you know, navigate around. Yeah, you know, I enjoyed doing it. But like now he's got the fucking right to start saying all this shit online like I'm a double agent and all this stuff because I made up Tim Wilson. I made up Tim Wilson at the start of this year only because I still wanted to be on Facebook and still be in contact with all my activist friends. That was the whole point of Tim Wilson. It wasn't to deceive people. Everyone who knows me knows that Tim Wilson was me, Scott McArdle. There was no fucking secret about it. So people want to say I'm with some double agent. Like, I've got the birth certificate there. You can fucking come read it for yourself if you don't believe me. You know, this is bullshit.
Scott.
And I'm off Facebook now because of it.
Yeah.
You know, that's it. You know, I've got my other one, I opened up my original one that I made in 2007. And that is the most comprehensive one. People want to go through that and look at all the posts that I put up there. They'll see it's me. It's been me all the way through. It's got photos of me when I was a lot thinner, when I was a lot younger. It's there. That's me. I'm Scott McArdle, right? So that's the end of that. There's nothing to be speculating about, run around. There's some crazy conspiracy going on. It's fucking bullshit. And the fact that I put that 33 thing up as well about Barry's mutual friends was just a piss take, because it's just an absolute joke that people think I'm a double agent. That's why I did the 33, because that's a fucking joke as well. You know, it's just silly, and I'm fucking over it.
Look, can I just say, look, to be honest, I don't want to badmouth the man. I really don't. You know, you have to pity a bloke who's got a gambling addiction, who can't get on his feet, who admits openly to me that he's run back to mummy's because she owns a house. So every time he's poor because he's blown his money, that he just goes back to mother's because he's got no money.
Yep.
Now, I found that incredibly offensive because Barry's 1 year older than me. And I thought, this is not the sort of person I would like to see trying to advise or help my son to move forward as an adult in his life and to be accountable so that he can be on his feet to raise his own family.
Yeah.
Now, Barry has no idea how to be an adult.
Yeah.
And I nursed my mum, the last few years of her life, she had Parkinson's, dementia, and she was losing the mobility, and I was happy to do so. What offended me was the money-hungry way when he admitted openly to me that he couldn't believe it took 2 years to get a carer's pension out of him, because the last time he went home, because he was poor, that's his words, he was poor, that, oh, she's a bit frail, so I'll go for a carer's pension. Trouble was, apparently the old girl's still walking around, she's still able to do stuff, she just can't drive a car. And here he is, he conned and weaseled a carer's pension, took 2 years for him to get it. Now, how do I know that information? Barry admitted it openly to me. That was incredibly offensive to me, because I thought, you're using your mother so you don't want to bloody grow up. You're 55 years old, and I was blunt with him.
Yeah.
I said to him, a man becomes a man by leaving his mothers and fathers, or mothers or whatever it is, and going out and venturing into the world so he can stand on his own 2 feet and to be able to look after his own family and get on with his life. That was why I wanted Scott to move forward, to take the steps like I did when I left home.
Yep.
And become independent as an adult. And then to have this 55-year-old jerk who's not only offended me by comments behind a door about Anzac Day stuff, when I come from a bloody 3-generation military diggers family and I served in the Army Reserves. I might not agree with war and the atrocities of war, but you respect the diggers, and then to come out to me and then do an about-face and try and sly around to a different opinion that I've just heard him give Scott, berating those celebrations.
I know.
The man offended me from every angle.
Yeah.
And how he treated Scott with disrespect, impatience, strutted around here like he was some king of Sheba.
And then I find out you're sitting in the car, fucking huffing and puffing because I'm taking my time, and this is why my laptop fucking got left in Nimbin, because you were too impatient to wait for me to come back and back to where the place where we're eating food near the edge of the showgrounds. You're too impatient to wait there. I said, wait there, I'll come back once we start packing down. You waited about 5-10 minutes and you drove around, and we had to put the fucking shit through a barbed wire fence just because you couldn't be bothered waiting. And then my laptop got left there because of it, right? I didn't get that back for nearly over a month and a half. And it's like all these little things happened, and I just went, oh, all right, things happen. But no, you were doing it, and there was nothing that I could do otherwise, to try and stop that from happening. And, I was trying to be as quick as I could, this and that. You're just too impatient. And you piss people off,
yeah.
Bonner's, I'm not going to even speak for Bonner, because Bonner can speak for himself,
Scott,
but he wasn't happy with the way you were conducting yourself at his house.
People will...
And neither was. When you left here, when you went back to Western Australia, I made my mind up then. There was no way that I was getting a house with you. That was it. You done your dash here.
Scott is a gambler. He wouldn't have the rent. He admitted. He gambles.
Yeah.
And he's been a gambler for many years.
I'm going to have to wind it up there anyway.
But anyway, please people, make your own mind up, but be cautious in letting this man into your house. He will disrupt the place. He feels that he has the right, as he puts it, he likes to help people.
Yeah.
He interferes in people's business.
Yeah. Anyway.
That he shouldn't interfere in.
Anyway, that's that, and I had to make this video because I'm just about fed up with the whole fucking truth movement because of it, and it's not anyone else's fault. I've made some bad choices here, and I took Barry on face value and thought that it was going to be a good endeavour, and do all these things and get a house together. But once I seen how he conducted himself, there was no way that was going to happen. And the fact that he, after I stopped talking to him, he unfriends me, and then he messages me, tries to get me to send the camera back that he gave me, but he lost the $40 camera. He lost a $40 camera, And he wants me to send a camera all the way back from Queensland back to Western Australia because he gave me that camera. You can't afford another $40 camera, Barry. You know, it's like, seriously, mate. Like, where's your fucking head at? I'm over it. I'm over your shit. I don't want to know you. You're wiped after this shit. You're going around saying I'm a fucking double agent.
And he's never permitted on this property ever
No,
again.
I don't want to
will
fucking
pick him
ever hear
up
from
by
him
his
again.
board shorts and I will personally throw the little bastard over the fence.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. Now you know the truth. Truth will set you free.
Absolutely. Bless ya.